Hello, today I'm making a birthday card and I'm going to be using some of my cardio stamps. I'm going to decorate the envelope first, so I have this rabbit from one of the combination sets. I'm not sure if it has a name. Oh, it's Celebrations, so it's that set there. And I've already got my rabbit in the right place, I think. Yep. And I'm going to use archival ink in jet black. That's perfect. So I think what I might do is slip that under there and move him. So we've just got this little bunny's head popping up. Perfect. So that's my envelope done. I might colour them in, I'm not sure yet, but we'll just leave that to dry, even though it's an archival, so it should dry fairly quickly. It's a 5x5 with a scalloped edge. And I'm going to use a tree from this set, which is the Summer Serenity. And what I really like with the cardio stamps is they come with this separate sheet with the images on, so you can actually place them so you can see where things can go. I'm going to use the tree, and with this one what I like is, I'll just show you on a bit of scrap paper because I don't want to mess my card up, is you can move it around a bit, so we could have this, if it was a windy day, we could have that sort of blowing over. I know that doesn't fit on the paper, but that's just to stop any marks. Or you could stand it really straight like this, so that's quite a flexible tree in more ways than one. I think I'm going to need my bit of paper down there just to stop any marks on my board, and I'm going to have that coming off the page slightly, so like that. Now I'm using the Versacolour, and this is 154 bark. Now you'll see I've taken it over the edge, so that's going to be over the back. So here's our front, and then obviously extends over to the back. Now I could have folded that over if I didn't want that to happen, but you do get more card, which means you've got to press it more firmly to get the stamp to take. Also, I'm looking to extend my image across the back of the card as well. I am going to use some copper. So this is the 93 copper, but I'm not going to spread it all over the stamp. I'm just going to add some sort of highlights here and there. Hopefully my card's back in the same place. So you can see we've got slightly different colours. It has shifted a bit, but because it's a tree I'm not too worried. Just looks a bit more natural. Next I'm going to use the Down at the Den stamp set, and I'm using the fence there. So that's the like the barbed wire fence, and I'm going to put that in, make sure I get it the right way, just there. this stamp has not been stamped before, so I'm going to condition it a bit, and all I'm going to do basically is stamp it. So once it's inked up, it should stop it sticking to the paper. I'm going to use the Topaz, not that it really matters because I'm just conditioning it, but this is Topaz 52, and I think I might use the Topaz for the actual wire, so it looks like it's gone a bit rusty. Okay. I'm still lifting that paper at the moment, so I'm just going to go over it again. So I won't, I'll do this for all the stamps, but I won't put them all onto the video because that would be very boring, but I just thought it might be helpful to show. Well, that's not too bad. Right. Just check that it's coming down in the right place. I need to move that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use the Topaz first. So I've got my Topaz because I want that for the, like I said, the actual barbed wire. And then I'm going to use the bark, and this shouldn't contaminate really because that's the lighter colour down first, and I'm going to use the bark colour on the posts. Let's see how that comes out. Okay, that's good. I'm going to add some more bark to the posts, but I'm quite happy with how the wire has turned out. There we go, that's better. So you can see that these are, I hope you can see that anyway, that they are a different colour to the actual wire. And next I'm going to put in some grass at the bottom. So to do that I'm going to use this seasonal branches. I've picked my Versacolour inks that I'm going to use, and the thing is I needed to condition these stamps because they hadn't been used before, so it was actually a good way to test out which greens I preferred. I've got quite a lot of greens and I'm not normally drawn to green, but that's more to do with the type of stamps I've bought rather than anything else. Otherwise it'd probably just be full of purples, but I think maybe a purple rabbit might look a bit daft. So I have 22 fresh green, 29 evergreen and 69 bamboo. You can see that I've followed that grass right the way through with those 3 different colours, and I alternated the position of the stamp. Now what I'm going to do is just sponge some of the bamboo, just so there's no white gaps. I've just got a makeup sponge. I think Wendy from Cardio uses baby wipes anyway, and but I don't have any baby wipes, so. And you'll see that I've just brought it a little bit further up the card here, just so those look a little bit more grounded. My next stamp is the nest from Down at the Den, and I can just see where it looks best by using the acetate. I think I'm going to sort of put it there because it has quite a few branches to hold it, that means. I'm going to do this in the topaz first, so that's number 52, and then in the 154 bark. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but there's the nest, and it has got a slight two-tone to it because of the 2 inks I've used, but I don't think it picks up very clearly on the camera. I think the ones in Down at the Den, I think they're actually hares because they have longer ears. So I've got 2 rabbits in the Forest Friends, and I've also got the Cottontail Capers, which has obviously got a lot of choice in. I just need to decide which ones I'm going to use. I've picked the rabbits that I'm going to use, and I've also been testing out the colours. So I've got this umber, which is quite a nice colour, and then I'll probably go in with the bark as well, because that's obviously slightly darker and I don't want the rabbits to look too pale. But if I go in with this one 2 or 3 times, that should darken it up as well. Yep, so this is 55 umber. So I hope you can see that I've gone really close to the bottom, so it looks like he's sitting in the grass. I'm not worried about the fact that the grass is on top of him, because he's sitting in the grass. Again, his ears, there is a slight line where this has come through, but I'm not too worried about that because it's not too noticeable. Yeah, so I think he's positioned quite nicely. I've gone in again with the bark, but just on his ears, just to darken those up a bit, so now it looks like they're more in front of the post. My next one is going to be one that's running. So just there through the grass. The umber first. So with my second one, I've gone in with the umber and the bark again, but I inked the whole thing with the umber and then went around the edge on the paws and the ears and face with the bark. Now obviously, because these are square, if you stamp down this, the risk that you will get a line, so you're better to just sort of smear them a bit to try and blend them in. I think that I'm happy with that one. Lay down some umber first. Now I hope what you can see with this one is his back legs are behind the grass and his front legs are in front, and that's because I've used that paler colour of the grass. So this colour, this umber, is stronger than the grass colour I've used there, which I think is bamboo, so it looks like they're in front. And just to make sure that there's no see-through of the grass, I've gone over the front, just sort of stroked over the front there with his front legs and head and ears, and come in again, and then you'll see that it's nice and dark. I don't know how easy that is to see really, but yeah, that's what's happening there. So these stamps and colours, or all these inks, are really easy to get two tones and things with, and shading, and so you can build up the scene and make it look like it's got depth. I don't have any cardio sentiments. Well, I do. I have one, which is Christmas, so obviously that's not going to work for this card. So I'm using this freebie set, which is Family Celebrations, and I'm using the Happy Birthday from that. As you can see, it's been used previously and quite a few times. I actually use that one quite a lot. Good. And unfortunately the light is changing, so the camera is having problems focusing. I do apologise for that. Well, I'm going to add a couple of branches in here, I think. Might actually add that one just to fill in, because I feel there's a bit too much white space there. Yeah, so I'm going to use that. That's from the... this hasn't got a name on it, but it's another combinations one. I'm quite happy with that. So there are some berries on these, so I could go in with like a little red, probably a glaze pen, or some maybe stickles or something similar. I have added a couple of details, so I've used this stamp from the combinations, which is one that had the bigger one in, which I did this with, and I've just added that in there because I thought it could be, the card could be stood so it's like that. I know that's not normal, but yeah, so I thought at least that ties it in, otherwise it was just a big white space. And I've also used a brown fine liner and just highlighted some of the fence post and the tree. It probably looks black in this light, but it is actually brown. If I'd have had another brown ink, I would have used that, but really I've only got the umber and the bark, and the other colours like copper and topaz were just a bit too much. Obviously I used the topaz for this because it was an orangey colour. Yeah, and the copper just didn't really work. So if I'd have had another brown of a different shade that would have worked with the bark, that would have been good and I wouldn't have had to do that. But I'm actually quite pleased with how that has turned out. There's just one more thing that I wanted to do, and that is to put another bunny inside I'm going to call that finished. So we've got our bunny on the outside of the card where the address will go, and we've also got the little bunny peeping over the top here, and obviously the card, which as I said can open out in full, so you could stand it up like that. And then inside I've got this bunny rabbit as well. I do hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheerio.